Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today Mr. Cornell Ford. He's a writer and a filmmaker here in Lake County. Good morning, Mr. Ford.
Good morning, Dr. Brooks. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been on before, and you've done a lot of great things, and we want to bring Lake County up to date on the things that you've been doing, because what you're doing is very unique here in Lake County. By the way, Lake County is approximately 750,000 people, but like I always say, I don't know how many up at 5 o'clock this Sunday morning listen to the program, but I understand we have a pretty good audience here at 5 o'clock. But I want to congratulate you on the work that you've been doing. I was very impressed by it. And I thought Lake County should benefit from the hearing about the work that you're doing. But I want you to tell us, first of all, what piqued your interest in being a writer and a filmmaker?
Well, I would say I would give the credit to just the ability to be able to create another world outside that the one I'm really living in, along with being able to have some fun with it, give a message as well, provide some good entertainment, but knowing that I can just pick up a pen and write and create something, that in itself is just inspiration enough.
This is unique here in Lake County. Did you feel there was a need in Lake County for a film writer, a filmmaker and a writer?
Well, at first, when I first got into any type of film production, I was making music first.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was there was a guy that stayed next door to the studio I was producing out of, who had been working behind the scenes on some major film productions. So when he thought that I should go ahead and try it since I had a studio, once I got started, with one of my small productions, I saw how unique it was in terms of there wasn't a lot of people doing movies around here, and felt as though I can start something.
Lake County is very unique too, because there was a filmmaker from even Hollywood that came out. They used the 137, the highway.
The Amsterd's Highway.
Amsterd's Highway,
Oh, yeah.
So this is it's very unique in Lake County to have filmmakers, and they come pretty on a regular basis. So it must be something unique.
Yeah.
But how do you create enough interest among people to participate in the filmmaking here in Lake County? Or do you, coupled with that, do you only use your people from Lake County or outside of Lake County?
Well,
to participate?
For most of my projects, I would say 98% of the cast are from Lake County.
Okay.
I believe in the talent in this area. I've been up here for 20 years from Chicago, so when I landed here, it was just so much talent. And I've just been fortunate enough to cross paths with a lot of them. And over the years, I've just felt as though we can do more here in this county. We don't have to travel to Chicago or Milwaukee to create movies and things like that. It just takes an idea and people to believe in the idea. And I felt that this community embodied all of that.
I'm on the same wavelength as you are with the radio. We've been here in the studio for over 26 years, and I'm just appalled at all the talent that I have for interviews.
Yeah.
And by even meeting you now, after 26 years, and with all the talent, and here we have you as a unique situation. And I had a banker last week, a branch banker, and the first time I had a banker on. And just think, in 26 years, it's amazing. I don't know what's happening in the county that, but we have to have, I guess God uses us in works in mysterious ways.
And to add to that, there are a lot of talented people in this county. I have been fortunate enough to work with so many different talented people, all the way up from the rap artists in the area to a lot of the theatrical artists in the area and stuff. So a lot of people are really picking up and moving upward with their talents.
What about the criteria that you require to be successful? I mean, among your guests, how do you, the participants, in other words, what type of criteria?
Well, in terms of criteria for a successful film production, I'll speak on that.
Okay.
A successful film production just takes good preparation. You have to know the strengths and weaknesses of your personnel. Be patient. Things like that. If you notice, those all begin with P's. So you just, to have a successful production is to make sure those basics are in place. Never give up, because how you plan it, a lot of times it's just not going to be how you plan it. So just be prepared for a lot of things. And success is completion. Completion of a production with the cast and crew that believed in you from the beginning and stuck with you all the way to the end. That, to me, is a successful production.
There's a lot of time involved then, too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time.
Okay. And also, I might as well mention while we're on this, you have to have passion too, right? Your participants, you definitely have passion, there's no doubt about it. But what about your participants?
Yeah, passion is, again, another word with P. You just got to have that passion along with it. But the participants that are involved, they also exemplify a great deal of passion as well. One of the areas that I want to improve in is having a more solid team around me. And so far, the team that I have developed have passion. So without them surrounding me, I would no way, shape, or form be able to put out product like this. So the passion is not only from me, it's around everyone that's around me.
Well, what about the educational knowledge that people have to have, to be on your team?
Well, to be on my team, you really don't have to have a whole wealth of knowledge. One thing that you have to have is just passion and a work ethic.
Okay.
And another thing is the ability to want to learn, because even though I've been filming since '06, I have so much to learn. I haven't learned a lot of anything if you really look at it. I've been doing a lot of passion work, sweat equity. So you have to have a work ethic and just wanting to have fun and be productive. You do learn on the job, but there's so much to learn that I never want to feel like I know everything. So,
well, tell us about. I think you had a second movie entitled "Let's Shake on It." This is produced, I guess, since you were last here on the show talking about your first movie. But tell us about give us a little background on that.
Well, Let's Shake on It was my second feature film. It was shot here in Waukegan. I had a lot of support from business establishments in the community, from Bertrand Bowl, Big Ed's. Even when the Afro Fest took place, they allowed us to film a portion of our film there. So that was a great film. It's a romantic comedy, which was something different than what I had always been accustomed to. And it's a story of how a couple turned a simple dinner date into a life-changing challenge. So it was a lot of fun to shoot. I work with a lot of the artists that are in this area who have done some theater and so forth, like Shaquita Blanks. That's the daughter of Brother Blanks. She's an excellent actress. William Anderson, Jared Glover, Tia Pratchett. These are some of the people that participated in that film, and I love working with them. They're also part of the Lake County Actors Group, which you can find on Facebook. But that film got picked up by Maverick Entertainment, which is now available on Amazon.com. So it did pretty good. It got a very good response from the community.
And you have another one, Eyes from Eden. I'm looking at a uh, flyer on that. Of course, the audience don't have an opportunity to see it here, but tell us about the background on Eyes from Eden.
Well, Eyes from Eden, I started writing, say, about a few months after I released Let's Shake on it. I wanted to be consistent with productions and things of that nature. But the nature behind Eyes from Eden is a story of a church drummer who sacrifices the integrity of his faith to satisfy unfulfilled desires. And I believe a lot of us, young and old, can relate to temptation and how, if you're not careful, you can really fall victim to temptation. Again, this was shot in Waukegan, with some shot in Zion, but mostly shot in Waukegan at the Christian Faith Fellowship Church in Waukegan. Pastor Moulton there.
Yeah.
He was very instrumental in helping us out. Brother William Hutchison helped us out. He is very instrumental in my life, period. But he helped out in the music. And this movie stars Dwayne Wilson, Tiana Bennett, Katara Thomas, Jarrett Glover, and C. Jean Pope of Pope's Florist. That's right. She's playing a major role in this. We're very proud of this project.
This is fantastic. And I recognize the names of the people that you mentioned. As a matter of fact, the first movie that you produced, weren't you on Community Forum? I think we had those people. I do remember that.
Yep.
A few years back.
Yep.
Oh man, it's fantastic. Now, your first movie was called "With That Music Son." Is that right?
Right.
And what piqued your interest to produce that one?
Well, Music Son is my very first full-length feature. The inspiration behind it came from a young man named Brandon McGrew. He and I had just finished filming a short film. It was real street. And we just felt at that time we had been producing short films of that nature, of that genre, street and stuff like that. So through maturation process, we decided, you know what, we want to write something that your grandmother, your aunt, your mom would really want to watch, that wouldn't have so much vulgarness in it and killing and stuff like that. So Music Son is a story about how a young man copes with the tragedy of his mother while also trying to mend a relationship with his dad, who he gives fault to as loving music more than he loved his mom. So it's an interesting twist. And again, a lot of this was shot in North Chicago, though. A lot of this was shot in North Chicago. Great community support. Even the North Chicago Police Department helped us out a little bit. Very, very instrumental. The message was very important. I didn't realize how powerful movies were at that time. I was just having fun, which I still am now, but I didn't know until people started to walk up to me after the premiere saying that certain characters reminded them of someone they knew, whether it was family or friends. So I really started to understand how powerful movies are, and I really started to gain more interest. But yeah, Brandon McGrew and we thought that would be best to do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with Mr. Cornell Ford. He's a writer and filmmaker here in Lake County. And we felt that he is a person that you should know. Tell us, Mr. Ford, how do you market your films?
Well, it's a lot of footwork, flyers, social media is a huge part of promoting. That's not the only way, but that's one huge way. And word of mouth. I would say that the fact that I've been active in filmmaking, music production, writing, period, for some years has garnered me some attention that people, at times, they feel, okay, Corny's got another project out. So, they kind of engage in it. So I guess by me being active helps that situation,
Now, what about the location? Say, for example, the next film that you're going to be showing, highlighting,
Mm-hmm.
is going to be where and how can people, um,
Mm-hmm.
get tickets to come?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, this movie, Eyes from Eden, which is my third full feature,
Mm-hmm.
it will debut at the historic Genesee Theater in
Oh,
Waukegan,
okay.
November the 22nd. That's on a Tuesday. Tuesday, November 22nd. Showtime is at 8 p.m. and tickets are available at Pope's Florist on Grand, the Genesee Theater box office, and online at www.eyesfromeden.com. If you purchase your general admission tickets online, you receive a 25% discount for all of your general admission tickets purchased online. We also do have VIP. All those details, again, will be on the website, www.eyesfromeden.com. Pope's Florist on Grand and the Genesee Theater box office is where you can get tickets. Tickets are $20, $20 in advance, $25 at the door. And again, if you purchase online, you'll receive a 25% discount.
This is fantastic. I'm wondering about in high school students, is there still drama that's being taught at the high schools? Because this seemed like it'd be an excellent opportunity for students to get a start.
Well, Dr. Brooks, I reached out to North Chicago last year
Okay.
in an attempt to try to see how we could facilitate something like that. So what I did, as we weren't able to, come to anything together,
Mm-hmm.
just due to time constraints, what I did was I felt as though I could still start something to at least have a beginning for some people. And I started what is called the Lake County Actors Group.
Ah.
And again, this is just believing in the talent that's in Lake County. I felt as though, you know what, there's a lot of people here that aspire to be actors,
Yeah.
have done some acting, and at times there's not any productions for them to act in. Okay, so being that I'm trying to be as active as possible with screenwriting and production, I decided to come up with this group with some people that I've been working with since I started. And now the membership of the Lake County Actors Group, since we started last September, is 115 members.
Wow.
We have 115 members, and a lot of them are active. So we're trying to do something, as you had just suggested. Do they have drama in school? They do have drama in school. They definitely have them in the high schools here, North Chicago and Waukegan. CLC does have the drama. What on an extension of that, I want to provide an avenue that people can at least get some type of experience from.
Yes, I know when my children were in high school, I can remember definitely Teresa Ford. She's a Ford. No
Yeah.
relative though.
I know. Nope.
You know her?
I don't know her, but
Yeah, Edwin Ford and Virginia Ford, the parents there. She's an attorney now, but she's in Chicago. Let's see what, San Diego, I believe it was. She teaches at, and now she may teach drama out there too. I know it's African American history she teaches, in San Diego. She comes here periodically, but she was an outstanding actor, and there were others that I just cannot name. But it's unfortunate that it's still not highlighted, because you never know what students. All students are not, going to college,
Right.
and so forth. And acting could be a great part of their career. What about funding? How do you get funding to do the work you're doing?
funding is one of those areas where you take your own money,
Okay.
you analyze what type of resources you have at your discretion, figure out how you can utilize what you have, what resources you have, and what you can make from that. So with funding, a lot of times it's whatever money I have in my pocket, plus whatever resources I have, whether it's someone's apartment, house, business, establishment. One of the biggest things is to invest into the equipment to be free, to freely be able to produce your product. If you're depending on renting equipment, after a while, that money you're gonna see is like you could be more productive if you spent it another way, investing to your own equipment. So that's a big part of the funding, is already having access or already owning enough equipment to do the basics. And then if you need some extra funding for permits or paying people, things of that nature, you want to always make sure you got a budget for that. But I've just been doing things on a low budget scale, making it look like I have more money than what I have, and it's just all with a bit of ingenuity behind it.
And you started off writing short films first, right?
Correct.
And then you went to you found it successful, then you started writing longer films.
Yeah, I wanted to challenge myself after those few short films, and that's when Music Son was one of those. That's one of the things that helped me branch out into a broader horizon, and that's where I'm at today.
Do you think you're a better screenwriter or author? Because I noticed that you're an author too.
The authorship game is a very interesting genre, craft, I should say. That's an interesting craft. With authorship, you have to be very detailed in your description, which you, as a reader, you're forming your own visual based on how I've crafted it on page, as opposed to screenwriting. Screenwriting, it's the same in a sense because you have to describe in detail, but it's more focused on the dialogue, with breaks to describe what action are happening as the story is going. So for me, screenwriting is easier. It's a lot in terms of, writing 90 pages as opposed to writing 90 pages of a book, which will be a lot longer. So I would say I'm a better screenwriter because I've had an opportunity to venture off into the world of authorship. I think that's how I can classify that.
Boy, you're doing quite a bit. By doing so much, do you ever get burned out?
Yeah, I like a lot of people, I tend to do a lot just because I feel passionate enough that I can complete the task at hand. I do at times feel like I should just chill for a while. I just need to stop. But that doesn't last that long because I'm always about trying to complete something. So I do need to learn how to separate certain tasks and, reach out to other people that I associate with on the creative end of things to get some help. And I'm going to do better with that this year for sure because I do sometimes feel like I'm doing too much.
Well, what type of staff do you have, Are you just one-man show?
I'm a one-man show for what I can control. There's certain things I just can't control. Okay. I mean, filmmaking, you need a team for sure. So I do have a team. It's a small team, but a team nonetheless that's been with me since the beginning. So I'm fortunate to have those few people with me right now. I'm definitely looking forward to adding people to the team on the administrative and the crew end as well. So, yeah, team is not big, but team has been effective.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we've been talking with Mr. Cornell Ford. He's an exemplary person here in Lake County. He's a writer and he's a filmmaker. And they see the results of his one of his latest writing is going to be at the Genesee Theater on November 22nd. And tickets are available for $20, only $20 at the Genesee Theater. Also, he mentioned Pope Flores. You can also get tickets there too. And I guess businesses may buy bulk of tickets and to ensure people get to see it. The title is Eyes of Eden.
Eyes from Eden.
I'm sorry. Eyes from Eden. Yeah, and you mentioned it's the highlight. Say what looks good ain't always good for you.
Oh, that's correct. That's correct, man. You know, in life, sometimes we fall victim to what's put in our face because it looked good, and then, you know, we want to try it because it looked good, but what's behind it, we don't always observe. And then before you know it, you know, we caught up into something that's so hard to get out of. So temptation is really, it's been out here forever. So. Mm-hmm.
You've been, your film career started in 2006, and you mentioned what inspired you to get into movie writing.
Yeah.
But,
just maturation process, pretty much. Wanting to do something different, feeling like I could add to the craft. Instead of taking from it, I can add to it, and felt I can just write, you know, after getting encouraged by someone and seeing that, okay, this is not something that, you know, this is something I can do. Once I started doing it, it started to become a little bit easier as I did it, started learning from getting knocked down, getting back up. And, man, 10 years later, I'm still doing it, still trying, still learning.
This is fantastic. And this is one area where you probably have not faced any form of racism.
No, because when I go out and film, I make sure my environment is comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't let anything like that intrude my productions. You know, I'm not having that. I'm not having anything like that come into my sets.
Yeah, this is your set. You're producing it, and the likelihood of you experiencing any racism is nil.
Yeah, I mean, in life you're gonna have racism.
Okay.
To some degree. Me personally, as long as it don't affect my life and people that are close to me, you know, those people will get what's coming to them. I don't condone anybody's negative action, but when it comes my way, I address it, you know, as it needs to be addressed. Fortunately, I haven't had it come my way, but it's unfortunate that people who have experienced it have to cope with the aftermath, whether it's family, friends, you know, that's a bad situation.
Now, the films that that you make, some are with laughter and there's some are serious. Now, I mentioned about laughter because according to the scripture, the Bible, laughter is like a medicine,
Yes.
you know, to the soul,
Yes.
you know. So people want to get away from the daily, weekly, monthly hassle they've been going through with. They want to go to a film, a movie where they can just laugh.
Yeah.
You know, and relax. You know?
Right.
And so you have, I guess you have both then, huh? You have.
Yeah, that was the attempt when I did Let's Shake on It. I wanted to do something where people could laugh, have some fun. It's family oriented. It has a Thanksgiving type of theme to it, so it's very good for this time of the year, the holiday season. Very good movie to watch for the family. You can go on Amazon.com. Let's Shake on It is the movie. You can rent it, download it. It's a very good family movie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ford, for taking time again from your busy schedule to come out and share with us, share with Lake County.
I give the information one more time before we go.
Okay.
Eyes from Eden coming to the Genesee Theater Tuesday, November 22nd. Showtime is at 8 o'clock. Advance tickets are $20. You can visit us at www.eyesfromeden.com. That's eyesfromeden.com. You'll see everything there.
And if they want to get in contact with you, is there a number they can? Of course, you mentioned the best way is to go online.
Yes, the best way to go is online on the website if you're looking to purchase tickets. I strongly encourage you to come out and see this movie. Very, very enlightening situation. Has some comedy relief, good message, and it's people that you probably have seen throughout your life living in this community. So we made this a big project.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Focus. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.